Yeah, I know it was released at the end of October here in the US, but being the Battlefield fan that I am, I finally decided to do a review of the latest installment of the franchise, Battlefield 4. The fact of the matter is, if you're already a big fan of the Battlefield games, then you probably already purchased 4 and you already know what's so great and what's so awful about it. After about a month with the game, I think I've played enough and lived through enough updates to pass judgment, so if you're not one of those people, then allow me to break things down for you in this review. Let's just get this out of the way first. As expected, Battlefield 4 is a gorgeous game. I mean, I have to give credit to the artists at DICE for creating a truly beautifully crafted visual experience. I've got it on the PC, but by all accounts, the console versions, especially next gen, look great as well. Weather effects, explosions, lighting effects, including dust particles that hang in the air inside dilapidated buildings, everything just looks fantastic. Look at the shiny, wet surfaces in this level from the campaign. Of course, these beautiful graphics mean little to nothing when your campaign is suddenly halted because of a glitch in the scripting. Here I'm waiting for my squad to open a door to continue to higher floors in the building, but something glitched with the helicopter that's supposed to fly down and attack us, and now we're just standing around here doing nothing. Here my squad mates were supposed to prompt me to operate the elevator, but somehow their script just stopped and now they're just standing around. I'm completely powerless to do anything. In any of these cases, the only thing I can do is restart from the last checkpoint. Which of course means replaying a segment you've already finished, which of course gets incredibly tedious because the campaign is so pooping linear. Even after a month with this game, I haven't brought myself to finish the campaign because of problems like this. I mean, even basic equipment fails to function. When my friendly hands me a scope to designate targets, it doesn't even work. T to zoom, yeah, nope. Now, I don't think Battlefield has ever been about the single-player campaign, but does that mean that we shouldn't ask for one? Let's just take a second to analyze it. Gameplay is simply waiting on your squad to tell you to do something or to go somewhere and then doing it. You're basically playing the part of a page-turner for a novel or a movie script rather than actually being a participant in an interactive medium. Case in point. In this sequence near the beginning of the game, you're funneled into this unfinished building and up to the roof to be picked up by your chopper. During your trip up, an enemy helicopter swoops down and starts firing as part of a scripted event. The game wants you to run as fast as you can through the building and up to the roof so you feel like an action hero. And you can do that and you will definitely feel like an action hero, but how about a little rebellion? How about a little freedom? Well, if you stop while you're out in the open, you're just dead. But I was able to find a couple of spots where I could sit and actually shoot at the helicopter, but it's invincible. Grenade launcher rounds, even shots to the face of the pilots, nothing works. This lack of freedom and flexibility is representative of the entire campaign. Stay on the narrow path and you're treated to a pretty but pseudo-interactive experience with some genuinely impressive presentation at times. For instance, I mean, just look at the end of this sequence, the graphics, the sound design. It's like a big budget movie. But that's the problem. This is supposed to be a game. It's supposed to be interactive. Anyway, as with the other Battlefields, the real meat is in the multiplayer experience. I'm sure we've all heard about the laggy servers and the game-crashing bugs on launch, but when I first started playing about a month ago, I actually had very few of these problems. I'd say my experiences were very stable for about a week or so, but as time goes on, I'm seeing more and more of these problems cropping up randomly. Just the other day I had multiple crashes and really bad server lag even though my ping was in the teens. Origin also had some hackers hit it on January 2nd, which killed all of their online services for the night. Yeah, something's wrong here. But let's not dwell on all that for now. When it works, how is it? Well, it's great. Many of the maps are very impressive, and 64-player matches are the same insane all-out war that we saw in Battlefield 3. I particularly like the Siege of Shanghai map with its huge skyscraper canyons and impressive sense of scale. Many of the buildings even have elevators that you can ride to get to the top, not just the central biggest skyscraper. And speaking of that skyscraper, if you've been tuned in at all to the hype around Battlefield 4, then you probably know that it can be destroyed in an impressive looking collapse. The EA marketers have branded this as Levolution, as if it's some new bit of technology, but let's face it, it's really just a scripted event that can be triggered with the right action. Usually a very awesomely impressive scripted event though. Levolution actions are sometimes subtle, but sometimes they dramatically change the way that the map plays out. In Shanghai, the central building falls and then dust clouds up the entire map, affecting visibility. While sometimes the maps are more fun before Levolution, I can't deny that these are really cool events. By the way, I'm a huge fan of GoldenEye, as you probably realized from my 1-hour retrospective review of it, but in Battlefield 4 there's a map that features the Arecibo telescope. And you can bring down the receiver just like in the movie GoldenEye. You have no idea how schoolgirl giddy this makes me. It's awesome. Another fairly major addition is in naval warfare. There are more boats that you can pilot in Battlefield 4, and waves can now play a part in your maneuvering and your line of sight. I also like that you can pull your sidearm as a last resort while you're swimming. A lot of things have been tweaked and improved from Battlefield 3. Notably, there are more weapons and attachments, and it's way easier to compare what attachment does what. There are some attachments that seem to be mainly cosmetic though. I mean, can anyone tell the difference between all these different suppressors? A major new type of attachment are canted iron sights and multipliers. A standard setup I use often is a holographic sight with a 2x multiplier on the side that I can flip down when I need that added range. Sometimes it glitches out though and makes my standard sight zoom in twice as much while the multiplier halves the zoom. It's just another one of those annoying bugs that I hope gets fixed soon. All these attachments are very cool and they keep you wanting to use the weapons that you like to keep upgrading them. Though I can imagine that this helps make this Battlefield even more daunting to new players than Battlefield 3 was. It seems like it takes a long time to earn weapons and attachments, but you also earn battle packs along the way, which will often contain multiple random upgrades and attachments. This just seems a little bit gimmicky to me and just adds needless complexity. Pistols in particular seem to handle differently in Battlefield 4. They seem to have more realistic recoil and randomness to them, and as such it's very hard to get a kill from longer range with a pistol, which I actually like. This is kind of minor as well, but I've noticed that a lot of weapon reloads are segmented, meaning that if you start reloading your weapon and then do something that interrupts that reload, often when you continue reloading, your character will just finish the last part of that reload instead of starting completely over like in past Battlefields. This seems like a minor point, but it's saved my life multiple times now, and it's nice to see this advancement. The new deploy screen is also very nice. Simply click on the player that you want to spawn on and you can see their viewpoint. Then you can choose to spawn when you think it's safe. You can also just double click to instantly spawn. This new screen is quick and intuitive, and it's definitely an improvement over Battlefield 3. At its worst, Battlefield 4 is a crashing, glitchy pile of dookie, with bullets inexplicably missing your targets and lag rubber banding you all over the place. But at its best, it is a crazy, epic, huge, sandbox-style do-anything battle that has always been the staple of the series. When it works, Battlefield 4 is awesome. And that makes me wonder, I'm not really sure why it was released with so many bugs, or why some of these bugs are still around after almost 3 months and several patches. It also seems much more similar to Battlefield 3 than Battlefield 3 was, say, to Battlefield Bad Company 2, which kind of makes me question the need for an update at all. Sometimes it seems more like this is Battlefield 3.5 than a truly new experience. Anyway, underneath all of the issues, it is a great multiplayer experience that's just waiting to come out. And like I said, if you're a Battlefield fan, you probably already have it. So what do you guys think of Battlefield 4 and the debacle that was its release? Are you planning on buying it, or are you going to stick with Battlefield 3 until the issues are fixed? And thank you for watching Dome Candy Games, because games are like candy for your dome.